Hey everyone, Clint here. Want to show you this video. Going to show you this video. I need to say a couple things before I show you the video, which I'm going to show you in about a few seconds, okay? July 2nd, Kevan RUFFIN was shot and killed by police in America. This happened in America. Shot and killed. After he was shot and killed, there was protests, of course. Black Lives Matter came out and protested it. They want justice. Friends and family spoke to the media. They said some things.
Tonight, family members of that man, 32-year-old Kevan RUFFIN, say officers should have done more before shooting him.
We want justice. This is destroying our family.
These officers know him.
Since
several
childhood.
Officers. They know he has a mental health issue. That should have been the first thing they looked at.
Regardless of what the situation was, he was a mentally ill patient. He was a person that needed help, psychiatric help.
No peace! No justice! No peace!
He could have been shot in the leg, in the arm, in the shoulder, in the foot.
Keep in mind, the idea is that police no longer go to calls that involve people that suffer from mental illness. That's what is suggested out there from leaders, politicians, etc. They'd rather have nurses. Nurses go to these calls. This is the idea. Because when police go to calls, they heighten the situation. They make the situation worse. They don't know how to deal with people who are suffering from mental illness. Keep all that in mind. Watch this video. When we come back, I'll break it down.
How you doing, Ruffin? Are you fine? Are you fine this morning? Can you just have a seat for me? Can you just have a seat for me? Step back. You're gonna get tased, bro. Step back. You're gonna get tased. Step back. Step back. You will get shot. Shots fired. Shots fired. 458 headquarters, shots fired. 458 headquarters, shots fired. 458 headquarters, shots fired. Send all units.
98.
Yo, he chased me, man, with these knives. Bro.
Kevin, can you hear me?
He chased me, man. Can we get EMS to stage?
Just stay back from me, okay?
458, go ahead.
Can we get EMS to stage? Illinois and 15th.
We are getting them staged.
He charged me, man. I almost fell.
Take a breath.
I tased him first, and I told him.
Hey, I need to approach him. I need you to come with me, okay? Take a breath.
I'm gonna put my gun up.
Yep. Take a breath. Kevin.
Fuck.
Kevin.
There should be another one. Fuck. What do you need?
I need him to flip over. I need to do CPR. I need to flip him over.
458, are they clear to approach?
That's why nurses don't go to those calls. That's why security guards don't go to those calls. The people who go to those calls are police officers who have guns. Police officers who have guns, okay? First responders have to go to these calls. People that suffer from mental illness, police have to go to these calls. People that suffer from mental illness can be capable of assault. I know that's a racist thing to say right now, but they could actually be capable of assault. And sometimes they could even be capable of murder. Yes, people that suffer from mental illness can be capable of those things. It's happening all over the world right now. I don't know if you noticed. Shootings are up, murders are up. People are getting crazier and crazier. My wife is a nurse. Not only is she a nurse, and I'm not going to be able to say this word right, she's an RPN. RPN stands for Registered Psychiatric, something like that, nurse. RPN. I would never allow my wife to go to a call like that. Police go to calls like that. If they find grounds, they apprehend people under the Mental Health Act, and they take them to the hospital. That's when the nurse comes in. So to all of Canada, all the politicians, can you please stop suggesting that we need security guards or we need social services to be going to these calls?
Should we have police officers approach a situation in a way that would calm spirits down, clearly de-escalated, or do they need to always go in with, fully armed and ready to go and looking, raising tension? Or is it better for us to look at having other services that are better funded, more specialized services on mental health, on drug addiction, that could work in cooperation with the RCMP to go and respond to those situations? Rethink in terms of how to increase security in a larger term, in a larger understanding of Canadians by taking a look at who should specialize in what.
And maybe when we are recruiting, we should be recruiting people from the social services industry and bringing them over to the police. That's one aspect, integrating the services together for a better.
Police are trained to de-escalate a situation, okay? They are. It starts from day one at Depot, at RCMP training. There's a huge focus on de-escalation. All the time, we are constantly being trained on de-escalation. Police already know it's the most important thing. After this shooting with Ruffin, of course, protests, asking for justice, no more police brutality. The cop was black, by the way. Thank God he wasn't white. There would have been big trouble. And what did this lady say again? What'd she say again?
He could have been shot in the leg, in the arm, in the shoulder, in the foot.
No, he couldn't have. Of course he couldn't have. That's wacky talk. That's talk that people don't understand what police do. Center mass all the time. When police fire their guns, they aim for center mass. Because you miss. It's not easy shooting a gun and hitting somebody under those circumstances, especially a moving target. If he would have tried to go for a toe or an arm, that cop would be dead. It's almost like that's what people would prefer, that the cop is dead. If he would have went for a leg, that cop would have been dead. Did you notice what happened with his first shot? It missed. His first shot missed. It's sometimes hard to shoot people. And when he finally did shoot him, what did bad guy do? He kept on running. He kept on running. Because it takes time to die sometimes.
Tonight, family members of Batman 32-year-old Kevan RUFFIN say officers should have done more before shooting him.
The cops should have done more before shooting him. should have done more. What more? Let me tell you what this cop did. And he sacrificed his own safety on this bad guy. The cop, number one, this is not a taser call, guys. Every cop knows that. It's not a taser call. When you go to this call, bad guy has a knife. In this case, looks like a sword and another knife in the other hand. When you go to these calls, you don't fight knives with a taser. You fight knives with guns. His gun should have been out. His taser, it should have never been a thought in his mind, in that cop's mind. No taser. This is not a taser call. If he had backup, different story. Backup could use lethal overwatch, their gun, while he uses the taser. If the taser is ineffective, which we already know that 1 in 5 tasers are ineffective in this case also, if the taser doesn't work, the backup shoots bad guy. Very dangerous. It's just really dangerous that he pulled out his taser and then had to run around in a donut to get away from him. So why? Why would this Officer Prey bring a taser to a knife fight? I would ask myself, why would he do that? Because he doesn't want to shoot this guy. That's the last thing he wants to do is shoot this guy. He knows. He's been watching the news. The cop knows. He's been watching the news. He knows what's going on right now with the media and leaders and politicians. Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta. Rayshard Brooks violently punches a police officer, steals his taser, turns around to use a taser on him, and that cop ends up killing Rayshard Brooks. That cop is now facing murder charges. What's the penalty if convicted? Death. He's facing the death penalty. That's why Officer Prey brought a taser gun to a knife fight without backup. He didn't want that. He doesn't want to face something like that. What politicians and leaders are saying right now, even in Canada, is hurting police. Police are thinking too much. And it's going to have police officers get killed because of it. Like Officer Prey. Very lucky. Very lucky he's alive. I find it amazing. I find it amazing that after this shooting, right after this shooting, there was a protest. Who's the victim? When I look at this, yes, he's suffering from mental health. Okay. That's not Officer Prey's fault. When I watched the video, I see a victim, and I see it being the officer. Ooh, yeah, that's not going to be popular, is it? That officer's day was ruined. His week is probably ruined. There's a good chance that Officer Prey's life is ruined. Who did that? Ruffin did that. Who's the real victim here? Why not protest for the police officer? Is that too crazy? Not one person has said anything about the police officer, how they feel for the police officer, that he was put in that position, that he had to kill that guy that he didn't want to kill. Why not have a protest for the officer? Why not? Instead of the family coming out, talking shit, not all of them, but some of them, talking shit about police, why not come out and say, why not apologize for Ruffin's behavior? Is that such a crazy thing to do? Is that, am I out of line when I say something like that? Officer Prey is going to be mentally screwed up over this. He goes to a mental health call, and now he's going to be suffering from mental health. I guarantee you. If he doesn't have it now, he's going to have it years later down the road. PTSD, which is a mental illness. So don't ever tell me that mental illness isn't contagious. Meets up with another mental illness guy, and now the cop has mental illness. Hands down. There's no doubt. You seen how broken up he was over it? Who's the victim? Well, maybe there's two. But it certainly doesn't seem like anybody's treating the police officer like a victim. I don't know. I could go on and on and on and on and on, and I don't know. The world is crazy right now. It's crazy, and I'm like asking myself, like, why? Shootings are up, murders are up, people are being killed. Does it have something to do with the COVID? Maybe. Maybe it has something to do with the COVID. You know, and that, it might just have something to do with that. Ruffin, you know, his behavior started at 3 in the morning that night. At 3 in the morning, he told his mom that he was God. And Ruffin started walking down the street, mentioning that he was God. Why would Ruffin do that? I can't even see my doctor. It's only telephone calls. Maybe Ruffin couldn't see his doctor. You can't even see psychiatrists or psychologists right now if you wanted to. You can't do it because of the COVID. So what about those people that really need to talk to somebody, but because of the COVID rules and everything's locked down, you can't do it? Maybe Ruffin was off his medication. 9 times out of 10, when I went to mental health calls, there was always something in common, and it was the person who was off their medication. They don't always take their medication. And then you have these people at these meetings saying, why are the cops always come to a scene, escalate the situation? Why don't they de-escalate? It's not true. They don't. They're not going to the scene escalating anything. I don't know, guys. I know I'm all over the place in this one. Really what I should do is destroy this video that I just made and do it over. But I don't want to be like that because then it's going to come across fake. Thanks for watching. I was all over the place, I know. Subscribe. I got some things I want to say. How about Canada? They are on a huge kick right now to make police not attend these calls. They would rather have unarmed people attend these calls. Insane.
Clearly de-escalated, or do they need to always go in with, fully armed and ready to go and looking, raising tension?
Oh my God, what do you even say to that? Of course they don't. They're not always fully ready to go. Well, yeah, they are. They're ready to go mentally. They're always on edge. You have to be on edge. You can't relax. Once you get relaxed, that's when you're going to die. What the fuck?
Raising tension.
Raising tension. Raising tension. Yeah, that's what police do, man. They go into a situation and raise the tension. I just showed you a video. Is that what that police officer did? What, did he raise the tension? Hey man, have a seat. People do not understand what police do, but they think that they could be better police officers. He doesn't have a clue. This guy doesn't have a clue at what he's talking about, but he thinks he's hit a home run with this. Now, I can't wait to hear the commissioner's, RCMP commissioner's response to this stupid question. It's going to be a good one, right? Right? What do you got to say, Lucky?
That's a great question.
No, it isn't. That's a stupid question.
That's a great question. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for that. Thank you.
But your point is well taken.
Stop it. Stop it. It's not well taken. It's not at all.
Point is well taken. And in 2016, we introduced de-escalation and crisis intervention for that very reason.
What are you talking about, 2016, we introduced that? Is she talking about Agora, an online course that police officers did an online course about de-escalation? Because de-escalation's always been around. You learn that at day one. Day one. And continuous, it's called continuous learning throughout. You're always learning about de-escalation. We do scenarios about de-escalation, especially when you're about to use a taser. A lot of it's about de-escalation. De-escalation. De-escalate. De-escalate. That's pounded into your head your entire career. But she's saying they just introduced it in 2016. That's not true. Remember Vince Lee, Manitoba? I think he was going to Winnipeg. He was in a Greyhound bus. He's sitting there. He's looking at a guy. God was speaking to him. So he murdered a kid that was sitting next to him that was wearing headphones. Cut his head off. I'm sure you remember it. Stop suggesting that you want nurses to attend those calls. You want police, believe me. You want police to attend all those calls. By the way, this Vince Lee guy, he's out and about. He's walking around. He's free. Cut a kid's head off and showed it to all the passengers. And then you have these people at these meetings saying, why are the cops always come to a scene, escalate the situation? Why don't they de-escalate? It's not true. They don't. They're not going to the scene escalating anything.
There is a lot of schools of thought, and people are saying maybe when we are recruiting, we should be recruiting people from the social services.
What people are saying that? What? People are saying? Who's saying that? I'm not saying it's a terrible idea, but I'd like to know who these people are. Why is she saying?
Industry and bringing them over to the police. That's one aspect. Integrating the services together for a better response.
For a better response, because our response sucks, right? What the fuck are you talking about? What is wrong with the response? Give me an example. Can't you give me an example? She has a problem with the police responding to mental health individuals. What's the problem? What's the problem with our response? Why can't you just stand there and just say it? That they're doing a good job. The RCMP are doing a good job with respects to people that are suffering from mental health. Because they are. I'm telling you, they are. Why not just say that? Wouldn't it be nice if she just actually said something like that for once? Why is she so scared to shut people up? Great question. Oh, thank you so much for that question. Oh.